Hey y'all, welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank, and I'm joined by Jonathan.
Well, hello.
Jonathan, how you doing, man?
I am fantastic. Excited to be back on the podcast. It's been a little while
A
since
little
I've
bit,
joined.
a little
Yeah,
bit.
at
Yeah,
least a few weeks. So yeah, excited
yeah.
to be back. How you doing?
I am doing good. We have LA Comic Con and Brazil's Comic Con this
Mhm.
weekend, so it has been crazy. I'm gonna give you guys a heads up. We're gonna go over a little bit of spattering of bit of news, but then we got trailer after trailer. And what I'm gonna do is put them all in the description so you guys can
Yeah.
make sure you watch them. We have an article for each one of these because your boy busted his ass this weekend, so you guys can literally read the article about them too. But man, these trailers are dope. There's some really good ones.
Also, if you follow the Geek Freaks podcast, that's where I see most good new trailers.
On
They pretty
TikTok.
much all get listed on there. Oh yeah. Sorry, Geek Freaks podcast on TikTok.
TikTok took down one of my trailers. They got pissed off and muted it. So I
Oh,
was
what the
like,
hell?
"Oh, okay, I'll stop advertising for this company." I
All
hate it.
right,
I hate that system so much.
making you guys money.
I know. I forget which one it was. Oh, Fallout. They made me take that one down. Whatever. Okay, let's go ahead and get into our question box, guys. If you guys want to get yourself a geek box, it's called Table Topic. Link in the description. Here you go, Jonathan. Which class do you favor in Dungeons and Dragons?
Hmm. I think I've only played one class,
You've
right?
only played one. You played Druid, but let's say this now. You've
Mhm.
played for a little bit now. You kind of get the understanding of the game. Are you tempted by like your next character? What do you think that'll be?
I like the
Or are you
druid
just a
with
druid?
the whole shape shifting thing. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would do like a rogue. I like to be able to kind of be sneaky and
Yeah.
nefarious, and other people don't really know what's what you have planned. So yeah, maybe I'd try a rogue, but that's about it.
In January, I think what we'll do is we'll sit down and go over all the new D&D stuff because there's a bunch of new D&D stuff that just came out. Like
Hmm.
so many new sub, like over 40 new subclasses and things like that. And like, but I kind of want you guys to get like a one or two more non-starter zone sessions in before we
Yeah,
start really diving into like this is what they just unlocked because they unlocked
yeah.
a bunch of new stuff this week. So D&D's lighting up. But yeah, I think for you it's funny. You're a druid, you like your druid, but you really lean into your race more than I've
Hmm.
seen other people do. You're a water
Yeah,
genasi, and you've essentially manipulated that into a waterbender.
yeah.
And it works out really well. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Myself, I'm a cleric. I've always been a cleric. Clerics are great because you can be either the best healer in the game or this like uber god DPS damage guy just by saying, God help me, this monster's in front of me, and all of a sudden your god comes out and punches something for you. It's fantastic. It's really nice. And,
Nice.
if you guys ever want to like talk about D&D and stuff like that, we have a lot of fun D&D podcasts in our local area. I'll put a couple links in the description. Check them out, guys. I know that there's a lot of interest for that in the world. Okay. I want to make sure to throw out two more things. First off, we have another episode of the Geek Freaks coming out this week, all about the LA Comic Con. Thomas is down there right now getting a lot of great interviews, scheduling a lot of great interviews. Oh man, January is gonna be crazy. And then we also have that year-end questionnaire. It's the links in the description. We really could use your feedback, helps shape the future of Geek Freaks, lets us know what you guys want to see and what you want to hear. Really good example is right now, based off of what we have gotten in back, you guys' favorite topic is Marvel and you really like when we share the news. And your favorite video length, I was surprised by this one, 10 to 20 minutes. So, okay, something to think about. Maybe we'll start making longer and shorter videos and stuff like that to adjust for that. That's what we need to know. Last bit of news before we get into the real cool news is Who's Got Next Game podcast, part of our network, just released their second season starting now. If you guys want to hear more about video games, that is the place to go. Again, it's led by Tyler, a former esports coach. You've heard him on here plenty of times. It's a wonderful podcast. My favorite thing, Jonathan, they bought new mics.
Oh,
That's
good.
so nice. I think we need to now let's convince the Disney moms to do that.
Right? Oh, not recording on those gaming mics anymore.
Yeah, oh,
Not
it's so
your
wonderful.
old Xbox headset.
Yeah. So Disney moms, by the way, we've been talking about that. They're going to be coming up soon. They have had a little bit of change of schedule, but that's also in the works too. All right, John, let's get into the fun news. We're going to start with
Yeah.
Beetlejuice 2, which, by the way, have you been keeping up on the Beetlejuice 2 news?
Not nothing more than what I'm seeing on TikTok from the Geek Freaks, but
Yeah.
there's I guess been some.
So we got Michael Keaton back. Catherine O'Hare is coming back. We've got Winona Ryder. So it's all the
Mhm.
original OG cast. They just added Willem Dafoe. Something about Willem Dafoe says like, yeah, that dude's in the Beetlejuice world.
It's the sunken cheeks. He kind of has like you
Yeah.
could see, he has got that skeleton vibe to him, and he's such an awesome actor, one of my favorites. So I love that he's going to be joining the cast on this.
what's great is he's going to be playing an action star who died. So he's like a
Yeah.
Bruce Willis type who died, and then is now a police officer in the afterlife. So he specifically said that that's going to influence how he acts in the afterlife. So he's like a
Mm.
cheesy, overdoing it all the time police
Yeah,
officer in the
arrogant.
afterlife. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh
great.
man, it's like a terrible Men in Black. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, or R.I.P.D.
That was a good movie.
That
Nobody
was
knows
pretty
about that.
good.
I liked
Yeah,
that
it was
movie.
underrated. It must have been the timing it came out or something like that. But yeah, I didn't
A
get
lot
the
of CGI.
appreciation.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty heavy.
Who was it? It had Ryan Reynolds first off, like
Mhm.
damn, and the other one was God, what's his name?
Oh gosh,
True Grit and whatnot. The dude,
such a great actor. Yeah.
and everybody's yelling at their
Oh
iPods.
yeah, just they just deleted us
Yeah.
completely.
All right, I'm
Oh
moving on while you
god.
sit there and think about it, John. His
Yeah.
brother's name is Bo. Keep going.
Let me
All right,
get
here
out
we
my
go.
Google.
Google it while I'm doing this. Timothy Olyphant joins the cast of FX's Alien series by Noah Hawley. So Noah Hawley's the one that made Fargo season 4, one of the best seasons of Fargo, and now this is
Mhm.
going to be a prequel series to Alien. I'm super excited about that, but I'm more excited to hear about this guy's name, Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges. My
Dude,
God, how did I not? I,
as soon as I pointed at you, it came in my head. I'm so sorry.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy. Such an amazing actor. Yeah. Anyways,
dude.
he's not in the movie we're talking about, but a very awesome actor.
I That's true. He's not anything about this, but yeah, he is really awesome.
But yeah,
Do you watch a lot
Timothy.
of the Aliens? Like to me, I'm like,
I haven't seen any of the aliens. I've seen all the
none.
trailers and this whole like, the lady was impregnated with one or whatever, and it pops
Oh my
out of their
god,
stomach
John.
or whatever. I don't know nothing. I've seen the Halloween sets from it is about it.
Huh.
But Timothy Olyphant's amazing. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure a lot
He's
of
gonna
people
play a
will go
synth
see this.
too, so he's gonna be like an android that's mentoring the main character in this.
Yeah, I think I'm
This,
just too far gone to be able to catch up on something like this. I don't
I,
know.
honestly, John, if I'm gonna be honest with you, all you have to do is watch Alien, which is the first one, and Aliens, which is a sequel. Everything
Mm,
else is cannon fodder, but you gotta
yeah,
watch those first two. And
yeah,
they got Sigourney Weaver. Oh, and she's the one that kicks butt in those movies. You have to at least
yeah,
watch those because that's where all the references are from. Like Sigourney Weaver, like when you see Bob's Burgers and you see Tina getting the big robot suit, it's from that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you gotta watch those.
And the fact that it's going to be a series, they're making so much good content in these small series nowadays. It's like
Bro,
they took what would be in a movie or in like a trilogy and they spread it out in, a hopefully more than 8 episode series.
yeah,
I hate when they're just so short, but
that's
it,
what.
it's
Yeah, it's probably
just
gonna be it too.
yeah, it's just so good to see though. Like I hope they keep doing this, but come on, dude, let's do 12 episodes. Let's make it a standard.
This is gonna be the
Eight's just
year
not
of
enough.
FX, man, because they got this coming out. They have this show called Shogun coming out in like
Mhm.
February, which is this whole feudal Japan war going on. It reminds me of the show Marco Polo. It's like at that
Mhm.
budget, but you guys,
Yeah.
nobody watched that except for me. I think it was so good, so
Yeah.
irritating. But yeah, so FX is going to be going off, and then they currently have Fargo season 5 airing right now, which is also it's amazing. Last bit of small news before we get to the trailers. Tom Holland says he's going to be prioritizing the Spider-Man legacy. He will not pick up a new Spider-Man movie unless it's written well and he knows it's needed.
Mm.
Now, I think the first initial reaction for me was like, "Oh man, are they not going to make another Spider-Man?" Like that's my dumb MCU brain that was like right away. I just have to have more MCU. But I think this is good. What are your thoughts?
I think we need this. We need to see this from more actors. It's like, hey, this character that I've helped build with this team is, means a lot to the fans. I'm not gonna let it be butchered. So since I am in a position of power where I could say, hey, you guys can't carry on without me, or I'm gonna step away and you have to recast, which is really hard.
Yeah,
Since
he's
he's
really
in this
good.
position of power, he can leverage and say, hey, you guys need to take the time and make this story really good. Make this what the fans need and want, and I'll be in it. If you guys are gonna just try to turn the money machine one more time, I'm not here for that. Like I'm not supporting that. This has to be really carry on the character that I helped build with you guys. I think that's awesome. I hope we see that from more actors after this.
You know what, too? That's a really good point, Jonathan. And also, it kind of sounds like a thing I'd want the leader of the future of Marvel to be saying, kind of
Yeah.
the Robert Downey Jr. voice in the room.
Yep.
Tom Holland could really step into that role, and I wasn't sure about that at first, right? He's supposed to be the kid from the first ones, and now
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but who's left?
Yeah.
We praise Amon Villani, who's from the Marvel. She is Miss Marvel,
Mm.
and stuff like that because she's really an MCU fan. I think Tom Holland might be the leader of this entire franchise.
and he was the kid when all the adults were the heroes, and now there's a whole nother generation coming in. So he was the first kid. Now he's going to be the older kid who's leading all the young ones into the next generation. So
which happened in the comics. Eventually, Spider-Man does become the payroll for the Avengers,
yeah.
and it's a really cool part actually. Deadpool's involved. It's a whole thing. Um, yeah, I'm pretty happy with him. I'm pretty proud with this actually, and there are a lot of really good Spider-Man stories that they haven't told yet. And just the other thing too is it's all tied to Sony. So when Sony's tied to it, you're kind of like, oh well, they have that Venom movie that's probably the only other decent thing they make, and it's not that great. And they got all these other things they're announcing. So I don't want them to just be like, oh, we're gonna throw Spider-Man in all this stuff because we own half of them. Sounds like Tom Holland's like, that's not the case. I'm the one that's
Yeah.
gonna say when this happens.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. It's holding a little bit of integrity in your work too.
I'm gonna give one last shout out to a really cool story. Sony and Marvel were going to split up ways. They weren't going to make any more Spider-Man movies. Then one night, Tom Holland had a little bit too much to drink and called the bosses and got them to keep making Spider-Man movies.
Really?
So
He
yeah,
brought them to the table himself.
brought them
That's
to the
cool.
table. What a G. That's always such a
Man.
cool little story from him. I love it. And him and Zendaya, I just like all the videos I see on my TikTok feed of him and Zendaya just being like the best couple in the world. That's
Right.
also cool. All
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
right, John, we have a bunch of trailers. Why don't you start off with what trailer you want to talk about the most?
Oh man, there's so many
So
good looking
many.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Halo season 2 is coming out. I don't know about you. I loved season 1. I thought they did such a good job. It
Yeah.
makes me nervous cuz it was so good. I don't want them to break it, but I can't wait to see season 2 coming out.
It had really
Um
good bones, right? It was like,
yeah.
you guys got a bunch here. You definitely need to cut off a lot of that, but
Yeah.
there's something really good here. So, but you know what
I,
I'm not seeing is any of that stuff that everybody want to cut off. So I think
yeah, a lot of people didn't like part of the story, and I liked it. I thought it was good. I mean, you have to have a lot of depth, so there's got to be multiple things going on, and I didn't think there was anything wrong with that part of it. But that's okay. If the fans didn't like it and they chose to follow most of the fans, then that's good too. Like
yeah,
listen to what your audience is saying. But yeah, the trailer for the new season just looks like more of the same amazing action. I like there's a little bit more of that kind of like psychological thriller feel in the second
yeah,
half of the trailer. I love that where it's like, he doesn't really have full control over his own brain anymore, and you don't really know what other people are doing, behind the scenes. So there's a lot of questions, and so much seems kind of straightforward and clear. And this is the military, and this is how there's a chain of command and how things are done, and very cut and dry. But then there's so much behind the scenes that isn't cut and dry that you don't know about until you start peeling back the layers. And we haven't seen the flood at all, so I don't remember in the games. Is
great
that not
point.
until the second game?
No, that's the first game, but they're doing a
Yeah,
lot of the book stuff right now. But yeah, the flood
yeah.
is got to be popping up real quick.
Oh man, once they get into that, it's just going to be a whole different story. It'll be insane. But they're doing a good job making oh god, what are the villains in this
The
in the
elites
beginning?
and the
The
Covenant.
the Covenant, yeah, they're doing a good job making them seem so intimidating.
Yeah,
Later in the game, you're just popping them off, no problem. But right here, they're making it like, oh man, these are these insane monsters that we have to worry about with this. They're monsters and they have insane technology we don't understand, so it's double whammy. But yeah, it looks amazing. I can't wait for it.
well, and I think halfway through, we see one elite in particular really kick ass. They
Hmm.
always kick ass. One was really swinging that sword, and I'm like, oh, that's not just an elite, that's Arbiter, who we
Yeah,
play as in Halo 2, and is one of my favorite characters, voiced by Goliath from
mhm.
Gargoyles. And so I was like, oh, snap. Okay, so they're going to bring an Arbiter a little bit early. Give us that
Yeah.
other perspective because in season one, I think
Oh
maybe
yeah.
budget restraints or whatever, the other perspective came from a human character. And
Mhm.
I think this series hurt from that. I think actually giving us Arbiter or somebody that we could learn about the Covenant from the actual Covenant side, I think would be a smarter move. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's true. And like you're saying, season 2, now hopefully they've secured a better budget for the
Looks like it.
series, and they've established the foundation. They kind of fleshed out some of the main characters and stuff like that. So they don't need to do as much world building. So they can develop a new character and then kind of move the story forward more than they did in season 1.
And we're actually going to see a Halo. We're actually going to
Yeah.
get on a Halo. I know it sounds crazy, guys. Yeah, they didn't get on a Halo in the first one. They're going to be on one this time. So that'll be nice.
Yeah. In the games, you spend a lot of it just exploring the Halo, trying to get to a certain point before you were introduced to the Flood, right?
Yeah, you realize, I believe it's that in that first game, it's explained that The halos are used to eradicate the flood, like they were a tool to. Oh boy, people who read the books can be
Yeah.
really like, well, excuse me, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Or anyone who's played the game more recently than us.
true.
Like, what are you talking about? But yeah, yeah, it was something like that. Like it's to you can destroy a whole planet kind of thing, right?
No, have you played Halo Infinite yet?
Uh,
The newest one?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
You really got to play, man. I know we were
Yeah,
usually you and
I'm
me
so
co-op
behind.
them, but they
Yeah.
didn't have co-op when it first launched, so it was less enticing. But if you ever want to play it, let me know. It's co-op now, and so it's got open world. It's open world, but in a way that doesn't really feel like you're missing out on
Mhm.
Halo. I think people
Yeah.
roll right away like, oh, this isn't a real Halo. Have you played it? It definitely feels like it. So
What it's only on Xbox?
Xbox and PC, yeah,
Okay.
and with Game
Yeah.
Pass, it's free, of course, or it's,
Oh
it's
yeah.
part of Game Pass.
Everything Microsoft is on PC. I don't know why I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah.
they
All
have a
right.
bit of an interest in that.
Yeah.
I got to talk about
Uh
Furiosa. Then that's my next one because I love me some
oh
Mad
yeah.
Max, and
Yep.
right away there's something like the dude in me that's like, oh, did you see those cars, man? That car was awesome, man. Oh
And
man, it's so
I don't
fast.
typically like movies like the later Fast and Furious where they just have explosions for no reason and just
Yeah,
have, unnecessary action. But they write it in. It's a little bit campy. They make this movie
yeah,
for that, and they do such a good job. Though you want to see the explosions. It is
right.
they nail it for sure.
And then we have the villain for this is going to be Chris Hemsworth, which if you didn't know it was Chris Hemsworth, you might not realize it at first. Did you
Yeah.
catch that right off the bat,
The
or were you like, wait, who is that guy?
yeah. Well, because I think it was on your TikTok that it
I did an
said right
explainer
away.
for it instead of the normal video. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, I wouldn't have recognized him right away. He would. It's like, oh, that guy's familiar, but I think he's got a fake nose and a
Yeah,
lot of prosthetics. But I'm so excited to see him playing this role because it's such a different role than we're used to seeing him in.
right.
And I hate when a great actor gets like typecasted where they end up only
Yeah.
playing the same person. And this looks like this is really flexing his acting skills. So
Yes.
I'm super excited to see how he does with this.
The other thing too is Mad Max is an Australian movie franchise and it's beloved.
Mhm.
And he's an Australian kid. So he grew up watching the Mel Gibson Mad Max movies. And
Yeah,
so this must be a dream for him. Like, this got
yeah,
to be something he's always wanted to do. And then he's actually part of the franchise. He's a really cool looking character. Later on, I've
hmm
seen some images where he has like a biker gang part and stuff like that. It's just so freaking neat. I'm,
yeah.
I'm, I'm happy for him. And Furiosa herself, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, Queen's
hmm
Gambit, and I like. I think she's gonna live up to the original Furiosa from Fury Road 2015. Can't believe it's been since 2015. But
hmm
yeah, she looks like
Damn.
she's gonna carry her. Yeah, right. I know.
Oh man, these years have just been slipping by. That's crazy.
I know.
That's what, 8 years ago?
But you know what's nice about Mad Max? Because they use almost no CGI, that movie
hmm
holds up. The old movies hold up so well because it's
Yeah,
just cars and people fighting.
yeah. It's really twisted metal. It's like
Yeah,
you don't need a whole lot more fire and
yeah,
metal. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That looks and the way they do this kind of post-apocalyptic world, they do a good job at it to where it doesn't age bad. It's not
yeah,
like, oh, like when you see like the old Star Treks where they think about the future and their version of the future is very different from our version of the future. Well, as post-apocalyptic world, it's it doesn't have to be a certain way, and
yeah,
they do such a good job that you're like, yeah, this could totally be what we end up with. And when we see other movies like the Book of Eli and stuff like that, it's like, well, that totally fits together with this. This could just be
yeah,
another part of the planet, and there's another tribe of people that are surviving.
yeah.
It just feels very, unfortunately, very plausible. So
Yeah, this
that's
is literally, I believe it's Australia and the ocean above Australia because it goes out into the ocean is dried out.
mhm,
And
yeah,
so, yeah, it's literally just all that. So in the US, we could be doing the Book of Eli at the same time. I'm cool with that.
right.
Yeah.
Oh
And maybe
man,
like whatever, 28 days later is going on in the UK. We could just pick them all one thing. No,
right.
fuck 28 days later. The Rain of Fire is over there. They got dragons.
There
Let's
you
do
go.
that one.
Oh, son of a
What
bitch.
a good movie.
Talk about a movie that needs a sequel.
I know. I just think of that. What's the best scene
Jesus.
from that movie, Jonathan? Come on.
Um, I don't know. I think when Matthew McConaughey rolls in, right? Or
That's
I
dope.
don't know.
Because
There's a
all of a
lot.
sudden you're
There's a
really
lot.
like, yeah, America. But I think it's when they're explaining Star Wars to the kids and they're acting it out.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
That's
such
pretty
a
good,
good part. Ah, damn.
man.
I'm gonna tell Thomas that's one of our challenge acceptance here real
That's
soon.
a good one. Yeah,
I thought
I
about
think
doing it a bit.
the sequel's got to star Tom Hardy.
Oh, he seems fit for that world. Yeah, it's
Oh
perfect.
yeah, he'd be perfect.
Yeah, because Mel Gibson, or not Mel Gibson, God, Matthew McConaughey does not survive that movie, but the others do. A lot of others do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jonathan, what's our next one we're gonna talk about?
Oh man. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm slowing down over here. So many good shows and movies coming out. Um, the House of Dragons season two. I
Yes.
I don't know. It just seems like it's been so long. Has it not? Has it been more than a year since that was last out?
It
It
may be just over a year. I mean, it's actually not terribly long for what it is. Yeah.
it feels like it's been forever. So much so when I watched the trailer, I forgot where we left off. Like I'm like, oh, I recognize all these people, but I don't know where the story was anymore. I need to rewatch the first season
Yeah.
all over again. Which yeah, I'm not hating, but yeah, it was such a good show the whole first season. So I can't wait to dive into season two. And it looks like, like we were just talking about the other, like Halo, the first season they built the characters, they built the world. You kind of we already knew the world to some extent. They laid a lot of the groundwork, and so now they show from the trailer like this is just all out war. This is
Yeah.
bloodshed from beginning to end, which is exciting. I think it's hopefully going to sell tickets and get people, or not tickets, but get subscriptions up or whatever, and get people to watch the show, give it a shot if they haven't. But yeah, I'm excited. I like the political kind of drama that they do in between
Yeah.
battles and stuff like that, but you still want to see dragons fighting in the air and someone jumping off a dragon to stab someone else in the neck and all that exciting stuff. So can't wait.
There's something about the Game of Thrones series where, like, yeah, the conversations are definitely what like sustains you, but you need
Mm-hmm.
that adrenaline jump when all of a sudden you see a
Yep.
dragon fight another dragon, which is how we ended off, by the way. Um, Rhaenyra's, I think it's Rhaenyra. Boy, I gotta refresh myself on all the names again.
Right.
Son, remember he was going out to Storm's End to like, oh hey, you should join our side, and then he gets eaten by the other dragon. The two dragons are fighting in the middle of the sky, and the big dragon, which we see Viserys, their
Oh yeah.
God, I gotta remember all the names. Oh no.
We
Visenya, I
gotta
think it is
rewatch it all.
the old big dragon flying. I just love how that
Oh
dragon,
yeah.
you
It's
can
like
tell
too big to
visually.
fly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
It's like
like
a
it's almost like
collapsing
having a
tower.
hard collapsing tower. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Harrenhal in the sky. There's a reference for
Yeah.
you.
There
I
you
remember a
go.
couple of the names still. um,
Oh man, yeah.
God, I
That
can't
looks
wait
so
for it
great
though.
though.
And
Yeah.
and I think in the first season we kind of got a lot of time jumps that might have been a little bit jarring. And I think in
Yeah.
this one, we're good. I mean, there's gonna be time jumps. I'm gonna give you guys a heads up at the end of the Dance of the Dragons. It's the kids are one fighting it, but um, we're probably gonna stop and slow down a little bit to really kind of enjoy the maneuvering of this beginning battle phase. So I think a
Mhm.
lot of this season is gonna be that.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah. All right. My next one is going to be, you know what? We're going to mix it up a lot here. We're going to go from dragons to teddy bears. The Ted prequel series. Did
Uh-huh.
not think this was needed. Ted 1, Ted 2, both fun, one off movies. Legit, this is a good idea. And it's coming from, I think it was Peacock. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, what's his name? God, I can't remember names today,
Seth
Jonathan.
MacFarlane?
Seth MacFarlane, sure. But the other, Mark Wahlberg,
Wahlberg. Marky
it's his
Mark. Yeah.
teenage version of himself. Oh boy, look how old you are.
Yes.
It's his teenage version of himself and Ted going to high school together, doing everything you'd expect them to be doing based off the movies.
Hmm.
And it's a little bit raunchier than I expected to see on a streaming service, but they gotta have a little bit of that for the rest of us, you know?
Yeah. It looks hilarious. When I saw the trailer, I was at first I thought it was going to be just a prequel movie, and then I realized it was a series, and I'm like, again, I'm so happy with this season of series that we have going on nowadays. But it looks so hilarious. It reminds me of Superbad. The movie came out back in
Oh,
probably
good
early
call.
2000s.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like that, except for one of the friends happens to be a stuffed animal. But
yeah,
yeah, it looks hilarious. And I liked the first two Ted movies, but I wasn't like, head over heels for him. But this, because he was like an adult, and I was like, oh, it's kind of
yeah,
weird. I don't know. It's less funny for an adult to be a stoner and all this stuff, but it's funnier when it's a teenager because like
yeah.
it's kind of more expected, I guess. I don't know.
It's that
Uh,
70s show vibe. Yeah, it's gonna kind of
yeah,
bring that back a little bit.
and he's like an
Um,
awkward kid, kind of figuring out life at that age, and he's got this super crass friend who happens to be his teddy bears. It's like
yeah.
it's a perfect. It's like an extended episode of Family Guy is what it really feels like.
And some good Seth MacFarlane loyalty. You notice the dad's
Mhm.
from Orville?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Isn't that crazy? That's
I
cool.
loved it so much. I actually heard an interview from one of the cast members of Orville. I thought it
Hmm.
was very interesting. I was going to send it to you, but I thought, you know what, I'll wait till we're on the podcast. She was mentioning how it's hard to make Orville because the show is very expensive.
Mhm.
And God bless him. I know he's trying his best, but Seth demands that he writes every episode by himself. So it's
Yeah.
not like a team of writers. There's a team of writers helping him, but it's Seth MacFarlane that's got to be on everything, and he does 5 other shows or whatever. And so they only made about 5 episodes per year for 6 years. And
Wow.
so, in what that means is when you're an actor, you're not getting paid very often. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. And so they had to like negotiate for like, hey, can you give us a little bit of money just to kind of like, one of the cast members was really kind of just getting hungry, honestly. And
Yeah.
so, we just got done with the SAG after strikes. I wonder if there's going to be something there to kind of address that situation. Should they have
Yeah.
come out with more Orville's faster? It's hard because when you see them, they're a masterpiece. That third
Mhm.
season is a masterpiece. But yeah, you almost wonder if they should have done them faster or somehow find a way to pay them more.
Yeah, or if that's hard because it's like you're saying, it takes a while to produce that show. I wonder if there would be a way to make it in their contract and their agreement. You know, there's a minimum. There has to be a minimum pay. They have to have a livable wage, whether they're only working 2 hours a week or 12 hours a day. But I wonder if they could have other shows that those actors join. It's like, hey, we're gonna have you on this one, but really we have it projected out that you're only gonna be working 3 hours a day or whatever on average, but we have this other sitcom going on and we could totally use a female lead on that, and
Yeah.
for that one you could be working 5 hours a day or something
They could
it'll
have
pick up
voiced
the
how many Family Guy characters while they were
oh
waiting
yeah,
around?
yeah, voice
Yeah.
acting too, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
totally. So something in the contract where it's like we have to make an opening or find an opening to plug you into so you're getting the hours that you need, because otherwise we're holding you on a leash and keeping you
Yeah.
nearby, but we're not paying you enough for a living wage to survive. That's not fair.
It was really kind of sad to hear because it really was sort of like we love the show, but it's hard
Mhm.
for us to do because like we have bills to pay and the show was
Yeah.
produced so slowly. I think it shows up in the quality at the end, but you got to remember there's people behind it, so it's hard. Um, yeah, and so like they were asking like, do you think you'll come back? It's like it's really hard for us to come back just because it's hard for us to come back.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get some more though, because that show is truly a wonderful series. It's on Hulu and Disney Plus, guys. Which by the way, those apps are combining next year, sometime early next year. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
How is that supposed to look? Do you know?
I don't know how it's gonna look. You and me got to figure that out because one pays for one and
Yeah.
one pays for the other. So we'll figure that out.
Right. Yeah. It's all right.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how that goes. I can't go without my Hulu. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Um, but
Another show we have coming out. It looks also amazing. Is Vault 33,
yeah,
which you played Fallout. I did not. I think I played one of them maybe for an hour or something like that, but pretty much not at all. And
yeah.
so this is a. I don't. Is this a movie or a series? I
So
thought
it's a
this was a
series,
series.
but the series is actually going to be called Fallout.
Oh,
It's
okay. Okay.
but it's going to be starting from Vault 33 because every game. I can't believe you haven't played Fallout. That blows my mind.
Yeah. I don't know why I
I think you
haven't
played
really.
three. You remember that creepy music that's like, I just want to set the world on fire. And then it's
I
like
remember.
panning out of the bus.
I remember that in Bioshock.
Oh, you know what? You probably played a lot of
Oh,
Bioshock. Same
I
vibes.
played Bioshock 3 one time when you were sick.
That was
Three or
Bioshock
two?
2.
Two, yeah.
You're drunk.
Yeah, probably.
Bioshock 2. No, I thought you played Fallout 3, but nevertheless, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
post-apocalyptic world. One of the best things about this, I know Squeaks is a fan of this as well, is it's like if in the 50s when we were like, oh, nuclear power is the most amazing yet dangerous thing possible, instead of
Mhm.
us trying to like scale back on nuclear power, we're just like, let's invest in it. And
Yeah.
so we have like robots and everything like that, but everything's nuclear powered and it's a post-apocalyptic thing because nukes went off and blew
Mhm.
up everything. Vault 33 is the vault that was in LA. So you come out and you're in the middle of LA in this show, which is not done in any of the games.
Mhm.
And there's gonna be a story there. Okay, so since you haven't played the games, what are you pulling away from the trailer then? What'd you take from
Well,
it?
so it looks a lot like that BioShock vibe, which
It
I think
does.
I
It
heard
is.
that they were making a BioShock movie or series at one point, but
Yeah, it's far away though. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, we haven't seen anything about it. But it just looks so cool. I love the post-apocalyptic world, but I also love that like 50s, 60s vibes that they pair along with it, where it's kind of outside our time. It's an alternate, reality, alternate future, something like that. It's something about it that's super creepy when they're playing that old music,
Hmm.
on a record, and it's got that static to it and everything. I don't know. It's really a cool world that they built, and I'm excited to explore it. Honestly, I might have to go through and play the games, especially if they're on like Steam or I could download them.
Oh yeah, Fallout 4
Uh,
is always like $5 at this point.
oh
And it's
man.
very much like Skyrim, but it's post-apocalyptic. And the thing that it's most known for is first off an insanely dedicated talent tree. Um,
Mm,
and there's charisma that goes one way or the other. So if you're a jerk, like you can literally, I always unlock the Jesus perk because I'm like nice to everybody all the time, just a paladin out in the wasteland. And so eventually I get the Jesus perk, which means I can like convince people easier than it is. But then,
mm,
then some of my companions don't like me or they do like me based off what I chose. And so it's really detailed, but then there's also this rad system that I like to level in. Rad or nat boy, I sound like an idiot. But like as soon as you're about to shoot, you pause time. You're like, where do you want to shoot him? Oh, I want to go in the
mm.
head. It does more damage in the head, but I'm so accurate. When I shoot him in the head, it blows up. It's so great. Yeah,
Nice.
it's a great
Man,
game.
that's cool.
But in the series, yeah, you're right. It does have very much Bioshock vibes. It looks like they're keeping the humor, and that game is
Mm.
all about like having a little bit of like uh, are you afraid of nuclear power? Make sure you drink your nuclear power soda. It'll protect you. That kind of thing.
Yeah. A
Yeah,
little
you
bit
get that.
whimsical.
A little whimsical, yeah.
Yeah.
And they sold these vaults off as kind of like in case of emergency. And I think maybe in Fallout 4 you start off by going into the vault, but you always emerge from a vault at the beginning of the game. Just like every Elder Scrolls game, you're always in prison.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, and it's this cool thing where it's like, oh, everything's so nice down here, everything's kind of polished, but it's wearing down a little bit. You've been in it for too long, and then you see that the world's been falling apart on the outside of it.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
And when's that? Do we know when that's coming out, or is that just an early teaser?
That so it's an early teaser for 2024. I think it's April if I remember correctly. A lot of these
Oh,
are coming
okay.
quicker than we thought. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a lot of shows and movies coming out in February. I'm like, well, that's right around the corner. What are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Shogun, which we didn't get the trailer. We got the trailer about a month ago. It looks so good, and that's coming out in April as February, sorry, as well.
Yeah,
All
man.
right, I got to talk about the boys. I know
Mhm.
you're not much of a boys fan, but it's super good in my opinion. Why are you
Right.
not a fan? Why are you not a fan of it?
I, so it seemed from just hearing from you about it, it seemed a little more kind of edgy and
Yes.
I don't know, darker stories than what I was looking for. But from watching this trailer, it feels like it's slightly more edgy, but not too far off. From Heroes, which I loved, and I love to see the show Heroes
Yeah.
that was on I don't know
That's a
Fox or something
great
like that.
shout out, John, that I'd never thought of.
Oh,
Yeah.
it had the same kind of vibes, but a better budget. Heroes was an amazing show, but limited budget for sure. So it feels like it's got that same kind of vibes, but these heroes are in the like traditional comic book hero roles that we would see in comic books, but they're faced with real modern day challenges like we kind of saw in the show Heroes too,
Yep.
where some happen to be like politicians, or you might be a superhero but you're also a parent, and you don't want to risk dying because you have a kid at home or something like that, but you feel guilty not saving people, or regular day-to-day challenges. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I know there's probably some cringe stuff that I won't be a big
It's
fan of,
literally
but
rated NC-17 sometimes at the
yeah, I
same
still
degree as porn. It's so crazy. Yeah.
yeah, I might have to give it a shot though.
Watch it on your phone at work. I know you like to watch some of your better stuff
Yeah.
there, or your more hardcore stuff, I should say. Better stuff because
Yeah.
I'm a single dude that's
Less
like,
family
yeah,
friendly.
there we go.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's super good though. I mean, the story's Homelander as a character, I mean,
Hmm.
it blows you away. It's just a kind of what we're getting from this is like he's gonna be president, but he's like the worst kind of president. Like it's so
Right.
nuts. Um, and the crux of the show is that Homelander and basically the Justice League, they're funded by what's called Vault, which is like a Pepsi owned the Justice League,
Hmm.
and in the process, but yada yada yada, Homelander killed this one guy's wife, and so this one guy leaves the CIA and all that stuff like that, and he forms what's called the Boys, and it's a group of people who have been damaged or hurt by heroes hunting them down, and so
Hmm.
it's the Boys versus the Vought and the Seven and stuff like that. Such a good battle royale and like real deep stuff. I mean, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it also have kind of Jessica Jones vibes? Probably a little darker than that,
A
but
little bit of Jessica Jones, especially when you get into like the villain of Jessica Jones and how much that
yeah.
impacted her. That's very a part of this. There's a character named
Okay.
Starlight that's got a little bit of that going on.
That was my favorite. He
Yeah.
he was such a cool character in that show. I know the show
David
was about
Tennant too,
her.
great actor. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, man, I kind of wish that show went on, or if there was a spinoff just about him, like learning about his powers or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know. It was creepy, but so cool.
I'm hoping. So we have the new Daredevil series coming up. Hopefully, she'll be a part of somehow.
Hmm.
He is such a great character, and there's the animated Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers series where it's so cool because it's told by Vision's point of view. Side story, told by Vision's point of view. He's going to go into doing a service update, so he's going to have to be out of commission for 30 days. He
Hmm.
wakes up from the service update. It's very much like a Borg recharging center. He wakes up, and Iron Man has taken over the world. He
For
has these
30 days.
iron suits everywhere, just monitoring the streets, straight up taking over the world. Finally, Vision finally gets there. He's to Iron Man's to Tony Stark's like headquarters, and he sees that like Thor's his bodyguard. And what he realizes is the entire time, I can't remember his name, but David Tennant's character has been whispering to him,
Oh
and
man.
is convincing him to do things. And it's like, oh my god, what a freaking strong character to do that! It's so good.
That's crazy. Have such control. That's
Yeah, and
dope.
Vision can't be whispered to. Of course, he's Vision. He's
Yeah.
robotic, so it's perfect. Oh, it's such a good story. Um, but the boys, we keep doing this. The boys is super good, Jonathan. Season 4 looks like it's going to be really bringing in the political intrigue, which in the last season was like, I mean, major stomach drop when you realized Homelander is finding some of the much needed validation in his life from just like saying, I remember where the speech that he says is basically like, you know what? I'm not going to apologize for being, a dude and a white male in America. I'm not going to apologize for that anymore. I'm tired of this. I'm awesome and you should be worshiping me. And people start cheering for him. Then he looked around and it's like, it's a meme now. And he's like, oh, wait, this is working. And it's like, no, 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 don't do that. No,
Oh, yeah.
and there's this
He
whole
just
thing with,
realized what happens when you put gas on fire. Now he likes it.
yes. And it's like, oh no. And then we just had Gen V, which its ending is going to relate to this too. Gen V is a spinoff that takes place in a college. It's kind of very much Harry Potter in Gen V world, but it's a college level. And what's a trip is they actually have like rankings of the students, and the highest ranking student has a chance to join the seven and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And that's been a really big mess. And Homeland had to come in on that one too. Spoiler alert for the end of Gen V, but it is awesome.
They're not going to continue that series though, Gen V?
They probably will in a actually I think a lot of the Gen V people that we liked are going to join the boys, and the ones that we were like,
Mhm.
oh no, they're dangerous, are going to join the Homelander side. So I think it was
Oh,
just a good
okay.
way to recruit into the X-Men or the Brotherhood. So
Nice. I like
please
it.
watch the boys, Jonathan. Give it a shot. I know it's
I
it's
know.
tough.
What is it
It's
on? What do you stream it on?
Prime.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
got Prime.
And when you're there, watch Invincible. It's so crazy. It's written by the comic book is written by Robert Kirkman. The show is, in my opinion, a very accurate adaptation of it. And it too is like one of those things where you're like, oh man, I never thought about that with superheroes. It's so cool.
Okay. Nice.
All right,
I
so
gotta
we
write
had
these things down.
I know.
I
We'll
never
just
I
go
never
off of our
know.
outline.
Yeah, I never know what to watch when I don't have when I have an hour or two to watch something good. It's like, man, I need to have like a running list.
The last thing I'm hyped for, we got a trailer for, Jonathan, is Godzilla and Kong New Empire. Now,
Yeah.
now I know there's Godzilla minus one, which everybody is crazy hyped for, and I gotta watch. I haven't seen it yet, but it's the
Yeah.
Japanese movie. They made it for $15 million, which is like I think I could have helped fund that thing, and
Right.
and the CGI looks better than anything that we've seen Marvel make in 2 years. That's a little disheartening,
Wow.
but yeah, and people are just like, "Oh my god, guys, this might be the best movie of the year. It's probably the best Godzilla movie ever." So I will see Godzilla minus one. Matter of fact, that's my recommendation. Go watch it. I will be as well.
Mm.
But this one is very much America's Godzilla, and I like how, you know what? I mean, I don't go to I mentioned this in the past. I don't go to the fireworks to like get a story. I watch it to watch two giant things fight. And this is like we're gonna add more giant things to this. And there you go. It's a lot of fun. In the last one where Godzilla and Kong first met,
Mm.
it's ridiculous as soon as Kong finds out that there's an entire civilization of Kongs that existed at one point, and then he gets a Kong axe to fight Godzilla with, and so he goes there. That's stupid, I will admit.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, that's cool though. Go for it, Kong. It's just neat. So,
Damn.
now you don't pay attention to these. What are your thoughts?
I I don't. That just doesn't sound good. I don't know why. I've never the Godzilla movie that came out in like the year 2000, I think it was. I thought it was pretty good. I
Okay,
watched that one. The
yeah,
CGI wasn't great, but the story was all right.
in 2000 or
Uh,
like 2015. You talking about when we were kids, or are
no,
you talking about? Okay.
earlier, yeah.
Oh
It
yeah.
had Ferris Bueller's Day Off. What's his
Oh
name?
my God. Yeah, yeah, John. That is. I liked that movie as well, but like you and me are the only two people. I know. It
Okay.
was such a
Yeah,
different take. I liked it though.
yeah, I know the CGI wasn't impressive. It was
No.
the time, it was what they had, but I thought the story was all right.
Yeah.
But all these other ones, I don't know. And I've heard I don't know nothing about nothing. I'm gonna start with that. But that all right. That originally Godzilla was an example was a how was it? Like a
Yeah.
story
To explain
a
the atrocities of nuclear war in Japan.
yeah, it was a symbolism or metaphor. There you go. That's the freaking
Godzilla
word,
minus
metaphor.
one goes back to that. That's why it's hitting
Okay.
people so hard right now, is because it
Hmm.
returns to the form of what Godzilla is. And
Yeah.
of course, if America's gonna take that character at all, they're not gonna do that part of that story, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're very much doing
They're making
the
a new Fast
fireworks.
and Furious. Yeah.
It is like that. It's like Transformers. I think I compare it to Transformers a lot, where it's just like
Yeah.
sometimes you just gotta watch shiny robots punch each other. That's what this is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, visually, it looked beautiful. It looks great. And
Yeah.
in the trailer, you see them saying like, "Oh yeah, Kong can't take him on his own. We gotta back him up or whatever." So it's like, okay, that's you're gonna see people rally together and use whatever technology we have to try to support King Kong while he
Oh, that
fights
makes too much sense.
Godzilla. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't. I definitely won't go see it in theaters. I might stream it when it comes out.
It's worth the stream
And
for sure. I would definitely.
yeah,
It is kind of worth watching in theaters, though, John. Honestly, it's worth the IMAX because again,
yeah,
it's all about the spectacle. I could tell you what happens in the story right now. I've just based off that trailer. I know exactly what's going to happen. Somebody, for some
yeah.
reason, makes him a freaking Infinity Gauntlet. You notice that Godzilla or that Kong's walking around with a big old glove. I'm like, who's
You,
making a 10-story tall glove for
are
him?
you serious? I didn't realize that. No. I thought that
Yeah.
was.
Oh yeah.
I
So
thought
now
you
he
were
has an
joking.
axe and a giant like Infinity Gauntlet glove. It's so dumb.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But it's fun to watch. Like it's even when they had the Transformers and one of them had a beard, the John Goodman one had a beard. I was like, this is so stupid, but I mean, it's kind of neat. I don't know. So check
Yeah.
that out, guys. But also Godzilla minus one if you wanted to get the other side of that, the more serious version of Godzilla, which I will be watching this week and doing a review for. I just haven't had a
Nice.
chance yet. John, that's actually it. There's any particular trail, anything that really stood out from you out of all these trailers? I think for me, Furiosa is like my biggest, like, oh my god, that's beautiful. What about
Yeah.
you?
Top to me, top two are House of Dragons and Halo. I'm super
Yeah,
excited about those, but Furiosa is a definitely a the third, and the movie that I'm most hyped for, I think, for sure. The one thing we didn't talk about because it's been out for a minute, the trailer for it, but I'm still very eager for is Avatar: The Last Airbender,
yeah,
on Netflix. When I was watching all these trailers, I made sure to squeeze that one in too, watch it
of
again.
course. Yeah.
It looks beautiful. I can't wait for it. I'm super excited. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the first time I cosplay. I'm gonna try to cosplay Uncle Iroh at some point. I believe. We'll see.
Should we
I
do a
might just
watch party for that? What do you
might just
think?
embarrass myself. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, let's plan that out.
I'm
So we'll
down.
do a watch party. We'll bust out some like the chairs right up. I do that sometimes, like whenever I watch Jaws in the middle. I always watch Jaws in the middle of the summer, and I bring the couch and I put it like right in front of the TV, so it's like a theater experience. And I got the sound bar
Yeah,
now and everything.
yeah.
Let's do that. That sounds like a lot
We,
of fun.
yeah, we could always do it at my place too. I know,
Yeah,
it's easy to move the furniture around and put it right in front of the TV.
absolutely.
So
Um,
another thing I want to touch on, if you want to
let's do it.
dig into it, I don't want to go too long. Doctor Doom. I remember you guys were
Yeah.
talking before about casting for Doctor Doom. I remember what was your
Killian
recommendation?
Murphy from Peaky Blinders is my number one.
Yes, great actor. When I was listening to you guys talk about that, I was thinking like, man, there's so many other actors. I wish I was in there, able to suggest them, but I obviously missed that recording. Uh, so right away, the first two that came to my head, I just want to throw a couple across real quick. The first two that came to my head, Tom Hardy. I loved his Bane.
He
I
could
can
be
imagine.
anything.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. He could be anybody. He's such a great actor. But I imagine his Bane would be like a really cool Doctor Doom. Mixing those two characters a little
I
bit.
like him in Peaky Blinders too, by the way. I want to say that. He
Yeah.
plays this like the mobster of like the Jewish mob. And
Yeah.
he's like survives 4 gun bullets and or gunshots and stuff like that, but he's so good.
He's really good at playing just a straight badass when
Yeah,
whatever he's in. He's
absolutely.
bulletproof all the time.
Yeah.
And then I heard this online. I thought this was kind of interesting. And I wouldn't have thought of it if I didn't hear someone else suggest it. But what do you think about Henry Cavill playing a
Huh.
villain? We've never seen him as a villain. It's like, you know what?
Mission Impossible Fallout he did, but yeah,
Oh
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
very
yeah.
much
That's
just
right.
like a 007 like character. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. Okay, so then I started doing some research, and I was like, you know what? I
Look at
gotta
him with the
find.
notebook, folks. Look at him bust
Oh
up that
yeah,
notebook.
yeah. Page 2, gotta flip over. Okay, So Thomas Jane. Do you know who that is? He's the guy who played Punisher in the good Punisher movie, the one
Oh
good one,
yeah, boy, it's been a bit since I've seen that. Yeah,
right? I think he would do a really good job. I got four. I got four really good recommendations. So I think he would be pretty
I
awesome.
like him.
Uh,
Yeah.
Damian Lewis. Do you remember the movie Dreamcatcher?
Oh God.
It's kind of a psychological thriller.
Yeah,
Aliens come to
Jonathan,
the
you're busting out
planet.
some deep ones. I'm
This
pulling it up
guy's
right now.
yeah. It's like this whole battle going in his brain.
Yep.
Really good movie, Dreamcatcher. That
Yeah,
main actor though,
the kind of
such
red hair one.
yeah, he did so good in that. He's in a few other pretty
Yeah,
good movies,
Damian
but
Lewis.
I would love to see him as an MCU villain, and I think he could pull this one off for sure.
He
Who
would.
else?
He needs to be something. Yeah.
Yeah. Two more. Robert Knepper or Knepper. Oh, it's got a K in it. Silent K probably. Uh, he was the in Heroes. He was the circus ringleader.
That dude is amazing.
Right? It's awesome. Such a good actor. I love that character he
Yes.
played in that. It's like, man. So
He's
that
in
kind of
Prison
like,
Break as well. For you guys who don't know, Prison Break, he's real
yeah,
big from that one. Yeah.
yeah. He also gives me some Ian McShane vibes, who's also great, but I don't want to see him as an MCU villain. But Robert Knepper, I think, would be good as Doctor Doom. I think he's
Yeah.
got that kind of sinister, but I don't know,
They
powerful
have to be powerful
character.
behind a mask, I think is one important thing. Like they have to exude that like kind of a Batman thing too. Like you have to like
Yeah,
be able to act through that. I think this guy can
yeah.
definitely.
Well, the mask can come off though, right? Like
Yeah, it does. It
it's
does. It does.
disfigured, but
But when
yeah,
he's like
okay.
fighting, he's gonna be wearing it. So he needs to be able to be like Iron Man. Yeah, most is behind the mask, but like this, he's still you see his eyes. He has to be able to act through it.
Yeah. One other one I think you're gonna love this suggestion too, probably. Michael Sheen from Good Omen.
He could,
I
yeah.
I think he could nail it as Doctor Doom.
I
So
don't.
he would probably need whoever this is, they're gonna need some padding or to pack on some muscle mass. They got to be kind of a big, kind of domineering character. Camera angles can do a lot of that too.
You think Michael
But
Sheen over David Tennant
I
from
think
Good
so.
Omens?
Yeah,
Of the two of them, I would assume Dave Tennant would be the one. The guy who played literally a demon.
yeah. I mean, both would be good, but I don't know. I like Michael Sheen. He looks maybe from that role is probably not the best example, but
Right, right.
what was he? He was on. I
If
like
you
him in all the
watched him
stuff.
in Staged,
Oh,
he definitely is. But he's from Twilight, I
remember
think,
him
is
in
where he's best villain.
yeah, he's
He's
on Twilight. On Tron, he was the
oh the
club
like the
host or
dude like
whatever.
the club guy. Oh, that's a good example.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite characters. I love Tron. I wish that developed into being a series or something.
They're making
Uh-oh.
another movie for it.
Are they really?
Oh
Oh
yeah,
God, I can't wait.
and
Okay,
it should
okay.
be 2024. Jonathan, I got bad news
Really?
for you. Main character is gonna
Uh-oh.
be Jared Leto, the worst Joker in history.
So they're gonna make a number
But
4? Or are we gonna we skip, we skip just skip this one and make a series based on the other ones?
oh
Oh
man,
man, bring Jeff Bridges back.
yeah, it's Jeff Bridges is underplayed. I mean, luckily we learned his name in this podcast, so we can say that. But he's
Right?
like unbeatable. I know
Such
it's
a
like
good
one of the other
actor.
guys you just suggested is also an RIPD. Is like, what is this episode where we're referencing RIPD?
Right? A movie that I've watched but wasn't on my top 10. Like RIPD was just it was pretty good, but not amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
great
So
picks, Jonathan. The Michael Sheen one's a stretch, but I'm not
yeah,
hating it. I'm not hating it.
yeah. I don't know. I like them all, but probably Thomas Jane, who played Punisher, probably would be the best fit, or
What a deep
Robert
cut.
Nepper. Yeah.
Robert Knepper, I
Oh,
think, would be
y-
really
and
good.
I think it would be better. You don't want, Leo DiCaprio. You don't want a super recognizable face. So I think it's good to kind of have somebody who's a little bit, B or C actor, kind of off the radar a little while, and this can kind of bring him into the spotlight. So yeah, that's why I picked those guys.
I'm still Cillian Murphy all the way, though.
Yeah, and
he,
he's a great actor. He's I think underrated right now too. So maybe a star role like this, a big
I
role,
think
would kind of
Oppenheimer
help bring
really
him.
pushed him up. I think
I
Oppenheimer
haven't
was a
seen.
good.
Have you watched that?
I haven't. No, I haven't seen that one yet. No, it's on my
Okay,
list of things. I literally have it on my shelf right now.
yeah, I heard it was really good too, but I just still haven't watched that one yet. But
It's hard
it's
because
another
during the
one.
strikes, we didn't want to review any new movies on Challenge Accepted, which I
Yeah.
learned during the strikes. I only watch new movies because of Challenge Accepted now. I didn't
Yeah.
watch Barbie or anything like that because I was just like, well, I don't have to review it, so why would I bother? But we weren't doing them
Yeah.
on Geek Freaks either, so yeah.
Hey, my 2024 whatever that is, New Year's resolution is going to be to go to the movies a lot more. I used to go all the time back in the day. Having a baby and
Yeah.
stuff, it's harder, but I'm gonna find time probably once a month or so
You know,
to
how you
go
force
see a new
yourself to do
movie.
that is our local theater has a monthly pass thing where you pay $10 and you get to see a movie per month and you get 20% off everything. Subscribe to it,
That's a good
then you're
idea.
like stuck into it. That's the reason
Yeah,
you
the
and me
money's
are
already
going to the
spent.
gym. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, money's already spent. Might as well go there.
Yeah.
I like it. At least use their toilets.
Yeah. It's got good air conditioning. That
Yeah,
popcorn. I'll skip breakfast so I could have some of that popcorn guilt free. It's good stuff.
there you go.
Let's go
Like
over
it.
to some of the comic books I'm suggesting this week, guys, real quick. Batman 140. This has Batman versus Joker. It's actually like part of the mind bomb, so it's in his head, but they promise it's gonna be a slugfest between Joker and Batman. So that's gonna be really cool. X-Men 29. X-Men's just doing really well right now. This is the one where they're going to be confronting Doctor Doom's version of the X-Men that he's been setting up to kind of replace X-Men as they're falling. So this is what they were selling the franchise on at San Diego Comic-Con. That means that this is going to be a story that's going to be important for the future. So check that out. Daredevil number 4. This is obviously the new era for Matt Murdock. Bullseye is back. It's his first time in this new era. And clearly Bullseye is a staple for Matt Murdock, so go and check that out. And then my fun pick for you guys, Batman and Santa Claus Silent Night number 1. This is a 4-part series going to release each week of December. It's literally, and it's a reference to an old Batman comic book when he worked with Santa Claus. It's literally Batman and Santa trying to solve a crime in Gotham. And just I got a bunch of different DC characters gonna be popping in, Superman and Wonder Woman, just popping in for a little quick one-offs. It looks so fun, gritty and fun. Like it's great.
I like it. Man, that's funny.
Yeah.
Recommendations. I actually have a I usually don't. I'm usually not prepared for any of this stuff. So today is the day, and this is the one time in 2023 I come prepared a little bit.
That was your resolution last year. I'm gonna be ready for
Yeah,
one episode's recommendation, and you nailed it,
yeah,
John, just in
man,
time.
just barely, man. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, on Netflix is Squid Games,
Oh
the
yeah.
reality TV competition. I thought it was going to be super cheesy and stuff like that. I'm loving it.
Really?
It is a lot like Survivor. We watch Survivor all the time.
Oh, okay.
The challenges, the social game, and stuff like that. I get there's probably a certain level of it that is planned and rehearsed or whatever.
We talked about it on this
But
podcast during the filming. Yeah.
yeah, but it seems, at least what we're seeing seems pretty genuine. You get to know a character, you think like, oh man, they're really highlighting this one. That means they're gonna be the one that wins or something like that.
Yeah.
No, people are getting axed left and right. It's crazy. They obviously have to play up the fear and suspense that you would see from because in the original show, people are getting shot in the head and the face and right next to you. So that's scary. These people are afraid because they're going to get eliminated and there's a chance to win over $4 million and all the good that they can do in their lives with that,
prize,
blah blah blah. Yeah. 4.56 million. It's like, damn, that's after taxes probably only 2, but nonetheless you can do a lot with $2 million.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really good show. The finale comes out this Wednesday, I think, so it's probably out now. But yeah, just check it out. I liked it.
Good time to stream up and yeah, so this episode's coming out the day before that. I'll have to check it out. I had been putting it off just because of the filming news for it, but if it's fun, it's fun. And this time of year there's not like a lot of new stuff to watch because it's December, everybody's, so that's good stuff. And we're gonna be doing that reminds me, just a heads up on how things work for Geek Freaks. We always record our of the year awards early so we can enjoy Christmas. Those will be coming out at the end of the year, but continue to vote online, guys. Game of the year, holy crap, did somebody stomp it. It's such a hard year for game of the year. I won't say what it is. We'll announce it later on, of course. But man, did one game come in and wreck everybody. So it's the one I wanted to, so that's good. And then right now, the ones that are being voted for is best superhero movie of the year. I didn't expect it, but again, it's coming down to 2 of them that are really close, but one of them's pulling ahead. And so I'm pretty happy with that as well. But yeah, so keep it out, guys, especially Threads. The way we're doing it, Threads and Twitter are the 4. And then when we narrow it down to 2, we go to TikTok and Instagram. So when we narrow it down to 2, we go over there because they just do better with 2. But that's it for us, you guys. Again, link in the description to everything we've talked about. Please fill out the Geek Freaks year-end form so that we know what you guys want and make sure that you guys get what you want. We have so many big plans for 2024. We just want to make sure that we're doing it right for you guys. But that's it for this week. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.